Jake, when you look at the 5As, they used to be 4As. Some of them could have been 6As. Now they're 5As. It gets crazy. But some of those teams that didn't go up, they have a real good chance to be district champs at the 5A level. Let's start with 31. Let's look at Sherryland's district. They're the team I'm thinking of most.
Yeah, Sherryland, they haven't lost in 2 years.
Other than that, they're terrible. Right?
Yeah. You know, Coach Adame's got a great team coming back. He's got 2 quarterbacks again, you know, which, you know,
wealth of riches.
Yeah. So he's got great receivers. Landez is back. I mean, what can you say? Landez.
My boy Cole, man, James Cole. Is this the year that dude does well? Because he's got some tools.
Yeah, and you know, he's being looked at right now in track, going big time. So, you know, he's a burner. So if you got a stretch guy that can stretch the field, if you can get a slot in there,
you got a bunch of little backs that can catch the ball. Look, the deal is this. Sherryland picked a nice time not to go up. They had the split, and so they mitigate that problem with losing some talent to Pioneer by being in a district with some teams that were 3As or 4As last year. No, I think they're going to be pretty good.
Well, there's a team that you know very well, and you think that they're going to be pretty good.
Yeah, I do. I think that the SaberCats of Vela in their 3rd season will have one of the top 5 offenses in the Valley. I think it's pretty well, and I'll tell you why. Not only do they have Aber Lopez back, and he's looking wonderful, they've got a running game. Anthony Arredondo was running the ball like crazy against Rowe. He was pounding people. You know, when a guy runs busy, when a guy runs hard, you can hear him hit people, and he was running that way. They had 500 yards offense.
Is he more like Chemo, or is he different?
He's bigger than him. He's gotten really big. He's a hard runner. He's almost like a Ricky Rodriguez, but probably not as good a feet. But I think he's going to have a good season. They got a sophomore named Guerra, who's a speed back and went 80 yards. Vela's going to score a ton of points. The question is, can they stop people?
Yeah, and what is that loss of losing their safety due to them?
They lost a safety, and they've lost a linebacker too. So, you know, they're scrambling to put kids in. But you know what? They brought back almost everybody from the first 2 seasons. This is the year for them to have experience. You know, they finished last year on a roll, 5-5. They almost made it. Oh, they'll find a way. They'll find some kids to put over there in defense. I mean, I know they definitely didn't want to lose those kids, but you know what? These things happen, and you just keep fighting.
Yeah, and they've got one of the best. Look, they've got DeLuna at tight end, who's probably one of the biggest and the best.
He's got good hands too. Yeah, they won the scrimmage over there with a little dump to him. They had a nice play call. That was 1,000 yards of offense between Rowe and Vela. That was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just like, one of these things.
But here's the one thing that I see. Vela and Sherryland are going to beat up on each other.
Quality team.
And it leaves a big opening for a team like Mission Vets with probably the best quarterback in the Valley.
Yeah, he's our first team preseason All-Valley first-team quarterback, and that was a tough decision. But on the other hand, it wasn't, because when Santos is right, he's a special player.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, look, he's a quarterback here. They're looking at him at safety, at linebacker, you know, something. They're looking at defense in college.
I didn't make him a receiver.
He can play, and he is going to play. You know, Coach Gilpin's going to see about putting him on defense too in some packages.
Why not? Hey, look, they got a couple of great defenders. They got a pretty good line. They got this John Garcia, that stand-up runner. He's got some good feet. No, man, all Vets has to do is avoid the bad luck that's been biting it the last couple of years, and they're right in the race for #1. I promise you. I think you're right, man.
Just stay healthy. If they can keep their quarterback healthy, they're good. I mean, they're golden.
Well, you know, and that's not all in that district, though, right?
Yeah. You know. No, I mean, look, you've got Roma, you've got Rio, you got Valley View.
Valley View's in there.
So look, it's not an easy road for any team. There's no letdown games in that district.
No, man. I tell you what, Roma has a good quarterback and receiver back. I'm not sure they'll have the overall size that they had last year. Plus, they lose only the record-setting running back, whom we've mentioned many times. Rio Grande City is a strange team because it's like Mission or like Rio Hondo. They'd be bouncing around. They'll be 1-9, 8-2. They go to the playoffs. They played well. I'm not sure what, but I know they have some weapons. I don't know what they have the line. They got a linebacker by the name of Reyna that I'm interested in seeing play. Aaron Reyna is his name. You take that name to the bank.
Yeah, I like Rio because Coach Longoria, he always
knows his stuff.
To put things together. I mean, what was that? What was it last year that they lost 3 games in a row? Then all of a sudden, you know,
they'll come, man. They never give up.
Yeah,
they never give up out there. So yeah, there's a tendency to think Sherryland, Vela, and Vets. But gosh, man, there's other teams in the fight as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a monster district. I think all the 5A districts are.
Well, the teams that stayed, like Sherryland and Vela, I think that they have a leg up to start with, but they still have to get their business done.
Yeah.
All right, now why don't we just stay and talk about the other 5A district, which to me is just a monster killer murderer's row. There's 18 different names you could have for it, but it's awesome.
Yeah, I got to see, and I thought the kid was going to be the MVP of the Valley this year, and his name was Amonte Bowen.
And still
I got to see him. His name's still the same, but he broke his collarbone. and that hurts Donna. I mean, they have a kid from California that they're going to be able to bring in, who was a sophomore last year, I believe, and he's going to fill the spot. But Amonte's out, which means that he was going to be like an Eric Crouch type guy.
No, he was
throw the ball, run,
big boy, strong. Yeah, that's too bad for them. It doesn't mean down the season is over. It just means you have a big hiccup right off the bat, and your team's character will be tested. Now, I'm glad it happened now instead of Game 4. I mean, you never want a kid to be hurt, but at least they have some time to audition this other guy, and pretty much he gets to play a whole season, I guess.
Yeah, and you know what? He gets to work through the non-district, which doesn't matter at all. It does, but it doesn't. And he can get ready for the real district, or for the district, and that's where the real season starts.
Well, in 32-5A, then, it was that fearsome foursome with Donna, Mercedes, Edcouch, and PSJA. I still don't think Donna's out of it. I think Pace has a chance to step into that group because it's got a quarterback and some other kids. Cristobal Bermudez is a linebacker of some note. The bottom line is Donna was going to have to hustle to keep up with those other three because all three, Mercedes, Edcouch, and the Bears, they have good squads, man.
Yeah. Look, Presas was the newcomer of the year last year. I mean, what can you say about that?
Big boy can throw that ball, and he's got some feet, man.
Yeah, and he's got great receivers to throw him to.
Josh Garza is not the only guy on that team that can catch the ball, though he's probably the best. I like when they bring Roel Garcia from defense every now and then. That dude can break a play. I've liked that kid since sophomore year. He's one of the most versatile kids in the Valley.
Yeah, and look, there was a change at the helm, but I don't think much is going to change as far as the.
I was going to ask you about that because anytime you change a coach, you get a buzz off the new guy. But is there going to be a lingering sense of what happened and this and that? So you're telling me that you don't think that's going to hurt the Tigers?
Well, it's not like they brought somebody from the outside, it's somebody from the inside. So I think it's going to be business as usual for the Tigers.
Well, I know they got good linebackers.
Yeah.
Blanco and the other kid, man, they got about 250 tackles between them. I'm interested in seeing whether the Mercedes interior lines end up being as good as they have been in the past. Not saying they're not saying they are, but I want to see.
Yeah, I think Mercedes is going to be up there. Edcouch, I just heard this today that they have two great quarterbacks.
Yeah, they do. So they got four guys who could play it.
Yeah, and the question is, how do you change or find somebody that can take over the tight end spot that Isaac Martinez was?
Yeah, well, and here's the thing, their strength right now is in the interior lines. I'm saying is Mercedes going to be. Edcouch and Donna's strength is in the interior lines. Edcouch has some big, strong kids, more or less veterans. Their skill guys are amazing sophomores, freshmen, young kids that are going to be unbelievable players. They'll be the stars of this show, maybe this year, maybe next. The development of those young kids, the selection of a quarterback will determine how good Edcouch can eventually be. I feel like they're still going to be dang good.
I do too.
Yeah.
I like PSJ.
Well, you took the words right. I've been saying that for weeks. My special, I have a feeling for the entire season. Of course, hopefully it's not the kiss of death. How can you not like the Bears to a certain extent? They've got playmakers. Christian Sanchez, to me, is the best linebacker in the Valley, or at least in the first team like we had him. They're going to depend on the quarterback, Castaneda, the running back coming from receiver, De La Cerda. If those guys can make reasonable adjustments to new roles, one as a full-time starter and the other playing a different position, it's harder to take the ball out of a handoff or a pitch than it is on the run as a receiver, in my opinion.
Yeah. So, and what Steve O'Keen did with that program last year. I mean, look, we knew the defense was going to be good.
Yeah.
But the offense came around really quickly.
If they had Philo back or Fili Patino, I think I would pick him to win the district easily because he was a sprinter. He's now at Pan Am. They've got a sophomore kid running back. I think the Bears are tough. Anytime you got Guajardo, Quiroz, Christian Sanchez, they're three of the top 40 defensive players in the Valley right there.
And I think, look, it's going to be a defensive battle every night. In this district across the board. I mean, I think even with we're leaving out Porter and
Pace and Porter,
but Porter supposedly got a running back that just transferred in. So
is that right?
They got somebody.
Some guy named Tony Dorsett. No, you can imagine.
But look, they're going to have. It's going to be a tough district.
Oh man, it's going to be great. Which team will be most physical? Which team will make the least mistakes? And which team will have the best luck? So far, unfortunately for the Redskins, their luck is bad at the beginning. If the other team stumble down the road and they remain constant from here, they can still win it.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's time.
We haven't played a game yet.
Yeah, but I love the 5A districts.
It's amazing.
If I could spend every weekend in the 5A district, I probably would.
Well, I'll be seeing a few games out there, I'm sure, before it's over. Let's take a break and we'll come back with a 4A scene.